Hello and welcome back to Cryptollennium. Today, we'll be digging into the crypto gaming side of things with a summary of the newly revealed economy of Big Time, the first AAA rated blockchain game founded by Decentraland co-founder and developed by gaming veterans from Call of Duty and God of War. So without further ado, please like and subscribe and let's dig in. As you can see, the homepage is lit with this with this big news. The economy's been revealed. And so let's take a look at what that means and how this game will be able to be monetized. So free-to-play cosmetic economy like League of Legends or Fortnite have this economic model with the skins, the money, and not the user. So this is all centralized, whatever you want to call it, but their economy consists of an armory, time warden, forge, and then crafters using utility collectibles or NFTs. And so this is all done by the community, and the end user can trade or sell. So we basically become the producers of this game. Going into this further, what is so special about these cosmetic collectibles? Well, space uniqueness, supply is limited and immutable since it is on the blockchain, and players' ownership ability to sell, and as well as access to exclusive content like airdrops and other cool stuff like that. So how does it work? Well, you take a look at this. You have to own a space. That's the first step. Get a space if you want to take part in the economy. And what the space does is that you can attach it to things like time wardens to make hourglasses, or you can craft NFTs. And so you can either make hourglasses with the space and then use the hourglasses to collect tokens, or you can craft swords or armor. So digging into this further, how time is regulated. So we mentioned some hourglasses, and we'll get into this much deeper as the video continues, but you basically get an hourglass. They're limited supply. You play the game, you get the token. So this is time token. This is their cryptocurrency. And so based on the amount of users or whatsoever, the amount of time token that gets released is capped. So it is not infinite, first of all, and it is not infinitely being mined or earned, if you will. There is a limit to the daily earning potential of this token, which adds to the scarcity of it as it plays into their economy. So if we take a look further, the on-chain value or value chain in action. Let's take a look. Time Warden creates hourglasses. The hourglass owners will play and earn time tokens, and then you can use these time tokens in the armories and forges to create cosmetic collectibles to sell to the end user. Really awesome stuff. How we do this further using spaces. Well, a space is their version of crypto land or digital blockchain land, virtual land. And these spaces can be integrated with other utility NFTs to help you create and become a producer. So your personal metaverse starts here. Every player starts with this room. Even the free-to-play players start in this room. And what you can do is you attach your first space to this room. Okay. Take a look here. There's one entrance and multiple exits. So why they have this set up is attachment points come in two types, entrances and exits. Here are the rules. Entrances can only be attached to exits. Exits cannot be attached to exits, and entrances cannot be attached to other entrances. All space has exactly one entrance and multiple exits. And so what this means is entrances only to exits, and that's it, pretty much. Very complicated stuff, so I'm still wrapping my mind around it. I am starting to get familiar with this as I've played the pre-release and all that good stuff. So it is really fun though. So what you can do here is connect your utility NFTs to your space. You have a time warden that creates the hourglass that allows you to earn the token. You have the space, and it's connected to all these exits. And then you have an armory, a forge, you create weapons, you create armor or, clothing. And so space size is directly impacting the number of exits. So if you have a small one, you get about 2 exits. You have a medium, you get about 3. If you have a large space, whatever rarity, the base is 5 exits. And then once you move up to Exalted, and we'll come to that soon, take a look here. Exalted has 6 exits, and Exalted is the highest rarity that you can currently purchase. But they did reveal a chain of other rarities higher than Exalted that I guess is in-game only. But pause the video, take a look at the rarities, the number of exits, and just see what you like. Further is the compatibility. So eligible utility NFT attachments to a space. So what utility NFT can connect to your space? Well, if you take a look here, the rare, which is the lowest rarity, ironically enough, you can only hook it up to common, uncommon, or rare NFTs. So if you go to Exalted, they are completely compatible for every type of rarity. And as you can see here, we have uncommon, rare, epic, legendary, mythic, Exalted. So far, we've only messed with rare through Exalted. But apparently there's exotic, transcendent, and unique, which is pretty interesting. I'm excited to see what that looks like. But unique, I know, is going to blow some minds. So as you can see here, kind of like, you know, how you could see any other game doing rarities. Of course, the highest rarity one is compatible with all the other ones, and then the lowest limits you. So keep that in mind as you start to play the game. If you guys are looking to get into this, you may want to do some rarity checks. So some decorations require specific size or rarity. So then you can't really use a mythic NFT in a rare space, but you can use the mythic NFT decoration in a mythic space, which is an interesting example. I'm not really looking towards the decoration types of things, but for those who are. And then as you unwrap your space, you see which fixed customization options you receive. So each space is not the same. The configuration, where the exits are, and the different decorations that it might come with, if they come with them, you won't know until you purchase the space and then you unwrap it. So that's kind of fun. It adds a little bit of dopamine. You know, you open it, you get excited, you get the surprise. Very smart stuff. And so these are kind of the variety in space themes. It's pretty cool. I would go for the arcade or maybe the futuristic tech setup, but pretty cool stuff. And I'm excited what's going to come of this, because you can bring your friends into these and whatnot. So in-game resources consist of, and this is when we really get into the economy. We kind of just went over the basics because, you know, that's what you got to do. So with this, we have the cosmetic shards, the time token, and the time crystal. And all of these are very important to start with. Time crystals, that's the premium currency. This is what you can buy directly from Big Time, and you can't trade it. The time token is the cryptocurrency, which requires an hourglass, a cracked hourglass, to generate it while you play. And then the cosmetic shards are generated by playing the game, no hourglass required, and can be traded on the marketplace. So you can also purchase the cosmetic shards. And you'll see how all of these play into each other momentarily. So as we go in, we have the utility NFTs, which consist of the Armory, the Forge, and the Time Warden. The Armory, of course, craft and upgrade cosmetic armor, you know, clothing. The Forge, craft and upgrade cosmetic weapon collectibles. And then the Time Warden, craft, upgrade, and recharge the Hourglass collectibles. So let's get into these. The Forge does 3 things: crafting, refining, upgrading. And what this means is when you go to craft, or first of all, actually refining is probably the first step in all of them. You take these cosmetic shards that you find while playing, you refine them using the Forge, which requires you to wait 8 hours. And now you have refined cosmetic shards. So once you have refined cosmetic shards, so you always have to refine first, you basically use the refined cosmetic shards and some time tokens to forge out with time, of course. Like, you actually have to wait 12 hours and use time tokens to generate an item, which is pretty cool. And so that's the rate limiting step is time, which plays into this game and the theme. And so upgrading, so that last one, crafting, this is upgrading. And when you're upgrading, this is where it gets interesting. To upgrade a weapon, you have to have 3 copies of that NFT. And then you have to have a certain amount of tokens, a certain amount of cosmetic shards. And then you wait a little bit of time and you get an upgraded weapon, which is pretty cool as well. Very, very smart setup to this, because the people aren't just going to be spitting out items. There's going to be a very steady, consistent flow for items to enter the economy based on the users that they have in the game. Next is the armory, which crafting, refining, and upgrading, same thing, but for clothing or armor. So you can refine the shards, you can craft new clothing, and then you can upgrade once you have 3 copies of that NFT, plus the shards, plus the token. But what is different is the Time Warden. So Time Warden can craft hourglasses, can recharge hourglasses, and can upgrade the hourglasses, which is very, very cool when it means you're making money. You're making an actual cryptocurrency by playing a AAA game. That's new. That's pretty big. And so what you would do is you can purchase these time crystals directly from Big Time. And what you would do is you'd craft a Time Warden, actually. You'd craft an hourglass using a Time Warden. It'd take you a day to make the most basic standard one. And then to upgrade it, you would need some more time crystals, some uncommon hourglasses. So just the base, you just keep spitting them out, and 3 of them. And then 2 days plus the Time Warden, and you get an upgraded hourglass. And you can do this in sequence. And then that way you have 3 rares after you made, 3 commons or uncommons, and so on and so forth, and create your own little business. And then the hourglass cycle. Before we move on to the last function, a few pointers about the hourglass. You equip it, you use it while playing to collect time tokens, and then once it's depleted, you have to recharge it. You can't continue to earn. And so what you would do then is, and we'll get into that, one last side note is there are cracked hourglasses that can be used only once. And so you find those, you deplete them, and then they're gone. So drop rates are not finalized, but I'm not really interested in cracked hourglasses. I'd rather just have my hourglass, be able to recharge it. This is more of, it's a disposable. And so lastly, what the Time Warden can do is can recharge it. So you have your empty hourglasses, you got some time crystals, and 3.5 days gives you a 7-day charge. So keep this in mind. And they have 3 different tiers. So if we look here, you can charge it for 3.5 days and you'll have 7 days of active time, and it costs you this much. Or if you want to pay this much, you recharge for 7 days, you're playing for 14 days. Or if you want to use this much, you're recharging for 14 days and you have an active hourglass for 28 days. That's pretty awesome. That is a lot of earning potential. I don't know what the rate of the token is, and the supply versus the market cap will dictate the price. So you don't really know how much you're going to be making monthly until this all comes into play and they push, power on the game. Like, once it really starts going. Before we conclude, and this has just been a summary, this is just 30,000 foot view. They have a lot more details in the main video on the Big Time page, but you can NFT level ups and NFT bonus rolls. So what you can do is there are level ups and bonus rolls for these utility NFTs. And what this means is once you use the NFT multiple times, it gets XP. And I know a lot of us gamers are familiar with just doing stuff to gain XP. Once you gain enough XP, you use some time crystals and you can level up your utility NFT to do better stuff. And so what this means is instead of popping out 2 swords, you can popping out 1 sword, you can pop out 2 swords, or just faster. You can forge faster. You can collect more with the hourglass if it's upgraded, things like that, which that's something to keep in mind. That is a hidden gem right there. I don't think they mentioned that once in the video. Bonus rolls are another thing. And so what you can do is they're little accolade slots, and you can, same thing, faster crafting time, double crafting output. So you can either upgrade them this way and do it like that, or you can attach these bonus rolls. I don't know. Oh, I'm pretty sure you can just purchase it. You can just purchase the bonus roll. And lastly, some of the profiles that they have, or archetypes in big time, they have the free to play players. And this kind of gives you a view of the different users that are going to be in there, but this is not limited to these 4 roles, just so you guys know. So the free to play, the goal is to clear content and leveling up, engage with non-exclusive gaming content with no power disadvantages, because nobody is at a disadvantage in this game. Whether or not you're paying money or not, it does not affect your performance in the game, which is very important. And I like that. Or you can be a cosmetic collector. You know, you go in, you're a collector, you get it. Or you can be a time farmer. You can farm the token, which is something, you know, those who want to make some extra side cash, if they learn this, if they can do it, if they have the time, no pun intended, this is going to be something very lucrative for a lot of people, as well as utility NFT owners who are crafting, forging, all that, you know, all the cosmetics and weapons, and providing the products on the market. This is huge. This is insane, because usually the company takes all the profit, and they made it so that we create the economy, but they still get paid, which is commendable. I'm excited to see what happens. And so some additional information, there's seasons, and I think there are 90-day intervals. Figure out what the seasons are, and then let me know in the comments below what you think of them. There's also different types of mystery boxes that I think you would be very interested in seeing. So go do some digging on that. And then we already went over the player archetypes, so you kind of know what to expect in the game. So if anybody has questions, comments, leave them below. I will happily get back to you guys. This has been Cryptollennium. Thanks for tuning in. Please like and subscribe, and we'll catch you next time.